how have you seen Kubernetes evolve, and especially with respect to doing data?
Yeah, this is where my main beef lies. And it's not a beef. It's just, okay, I'm calling it out. All right, everyone, I'm calling a timeout. And I think it's because in the early part of when we really started to scale hard, and that was like in the 2005, 2010 realm, that's when NoSQL took off. It's when we realized relational databases aren't going to scale the way we want, and we started working on that problem pretty hard. And so that took off. That went, and you see that the result of that is what you have today, distributed databases. But meanwhile, there was a parallel universe of application infrastructure, and that's where Kubernetes was. And the DevOps crowd slowly migrated to being Kubernetes. But what I have seen is that there's just been this parallel path where we figured out scale data, and we figured out scale infrastructure for applications. But what we've done is we've built Kubernetes basically as a massive app server. And it will connect to other things, but they just have not really been living in the same ecosystem. So they both work, they both scale, they both do what they need to do, but they're just not really talking well together, and there's just not a lot of alignment there, which I think is where we're sitting in 2020. I mean, here we are, and it's a massive opportunity to start converging things.
Yeah, that's a great point. And obviously the next question is that I'm sure a lot of people have is, well, how can we change that, right? And how do you see us moving forward with that?
Yeah, this is the other controversial thing. I don't think it's operators. um, Operators are fantastic for what they do. I would say Kubernetes' success was kind of hinging on the fact that operators exist, and because it gave everyone a flexibility to bring their own thing into this Kubernetes ecosystem, which is fantastic. I work with a Cassandra project on a Cassandra operator, and it is the only way you're going to run Cassandra in Kubernetes is with an operator. But I mean, if you look at the explosion of operators and just the craziness that's happening in operator land right now, it's like now there's operators for operators. Like, we're starting to divulge all the cracks. Here it is. Okay, well, I can't just deploy an operator. I have to have an operator of operators. And I think it's because we've gotten away from what were the core tenets of Kubernetes. And like, as I look at the code and I study what was started, it was built on these primitives, and the primitives have nothing to do with data.